Hello, hello. Happy springtime. We got some beautiful weather in Montreal, which is rare, but I'm enjoying it. Um, so I've got some replays as is my tradition, kind of weekly. Let's get right into them. There's some from Tanker. There's some from Spiffy. That's pretty much it. So it'll be a quick cast, but there's quite a few games from Tanker and Spiffy. So let's see how it goes. Let's start with Spiffy. He did like a little mini series here with Skaven, so we're gonna feature that. The first one is called As Skaven, and oh wait, I thought he was playing as Skaven, but it looks like he's not. It looks like Xburn is playing as Skaven, and he's playing as Norska. So maybe there was some confusion in the titling of that file, but anyways, so we'll see Norska. This is kind of a tanker style build, to be honest. Just the Marauder, you see on foot with a really large army. He's got one terror causing unit, which I like. He's got a little bit of skirmishers, very heavy infantry, which is good against Skaven. Honestly, Norska versus Skaven's a pretty good matchup for Norska, I think. So what do we have here? Early on, some Norska Warhounds are going to be able to get into these slingers. They are faster. But there's a lot of slingers over here, so we've got 4 units of slingers. Well, gutter runner slingers and regular gutter runners, they're going to shoot into the Warhounds. And the leadership's not the best on these, even though they still have 55 unit models. They are wavering just from the missile fire. So he's going to split them up, which maybe not the worst idea. Are they winning combat there? 26-17, 28-28. I mean, the stats of the gutter runners might be better than the Norska Warhounds. Let's see the weapon strength though. Yeah. Anyway, it's not that important. The Marauder Horsemen are being used aggressively here, diving the gutter runners. I like that. In the front line, these Marauder Horsemen are kiting Skaven slaves. More skirmishers on the flank, so a lot of skirmishers from Skaven. They've opted to go with kind of a more mobile army, I guess. Just try and chip down the Norskins. Clan Rats are over here. You've got Plague Monks in the back line, which is a good call against Norska. More Plague Monks, Clan Rats, Storm Vermin, Storm Vermin. It's good. I like the army build by Skaven. It looks like they've played a game or two against Norska. Marauder Horsemen here, just trading shots with the gutter runners. And losing that trade, so they definitely need to fall back. In the front line, some Skaven slaves have been broken by Marauders. Here come the Plague Monks. They will trade cost efficiently with the Marauders, but they'll also take a lot of damage, and there's the Marauder Hunters over here as well. This flank seems to be going well for Norska. 2 units of gutter runners are breaking, a 3rd unit breaking here. So really it's that far flank, the right flank not going well for Norska, left flank going very well. Midline, kind of a wash so far. The Gracier is going to terror out this unit. Stormvermin are going to do well here. Plague Monks will trade effectively with the Marauders. And I think the Marauders are not going to do fantastically in combat here. Clan Rats screening out the Icewind Marauders. So I think so far the front line is going in favor of Skaven, but maybe the flanks going in favor of Norska. Over here we've got the Marauder Chieftain, not on foot actually. He's on a chariot. He's going to muck up these gutter runners. That's going to tag him for a charge from the Norska Warhounds into their rear. That's going to do some pretty good damage. They'll probably break shortly. Over here we've got the Skin Wolves and more Warhounds just chasing down the gutter runners. I don't know if Spiffy expected so much skirmish from the Skaven, because it seems like he came prepared with a lot of mobile units of his own. Maybe he just wanted a lot of missile suppress. Clan Rat's going to take a charge from 3 units over here. They should be okay there, but it is still a 3-on-1. So yeah, and Pharaoh Mammoth is just chasing the Gracier flag around the map here. Going to actually put his attack into the Plague Monks. Not bad. His anti-infantry. And rear charge on the Plague Monks might actually break them before the Marauders break, which would be kind of nice for Spiffy to have that unit still active. Over here, the 2-on-1 fight versus the Plague Monks. It looks like the Plague Monks are losing, which is interesting because Marauders, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're around 400 gold. Plague Monks are around 750. So Marauders are slightly more expensive, like 2 units of Marauders versus 1 unit of Plague Monks. Over here, gutter runners are trading with Marauder Hunters. Hunters should come out on top with that trade, I would think. Rear charge from Marauder Chieftain, going to tag them. Over here, the far flank, gutter runners of both varieties have broken and fled. So the flanks are now secure for Norska, and it's a question of can they now come up and clean the front line. There are Storm Vermin here holding tight against Marauders, but that's not their ideal choice of target. These Marauder Hunters have broken. They're going to flee and rally and then be able to pitch some shots into the Storm Vermin with Halberds. The Feral Mammoth taking shots here from the Gutter Runners with Slingers, but he seems to be doing A-okay. Basically full health right now. Yeah, he's going to send them into the Storm Vermin. That's an okay choice of target. Be able to cleave a couple of Unimodels there and keep them busy for a little bit. He probably could have been used to break these Plague Monks and the Skaven Slaves, to be honest, because they were already wavering. I think he could have... Ideally, I would have used the Feral Mammoth to probably break those and keep the pressure on the Grey Seer, but he is totally okay fighting Storm Vermin without Halberds as well, so no big deal. Over here, the Marauder Chieftains being used to kind of pin the Storm Vermin, which is leaving the Marauder Hunters free to shoot into them. These guys do a lot of damage, 38 AP weapon damage, missile damage, sorry, with Armor Sundry, and that's going to cleave right through these Storm Vermin. Look, just 2-3 volleys here, and they've taken them down to basically 20% HP. Marauders over here have rallied on the far side. There's been a unit of Gutter Runners with Slingers that have also rallied, but the mobility over here, Norscan Warhounds have broken. Another unit of Gutter Runners have rallied. So, yeah, some resources from Norska have been kind of pulled towards the middle of the map, which has allowed Skaven to rally a little bit on the flanks. The Feral's now rampaging in here. He's also taking shots from the Gutter Runners with Slingers. These ones do not have poison though, so there is no poison effect on the Feral Mammoth at this point. Of course, the Unholy Clamor from the Bell of the Grey Seer is causing some vigor issues, but Norska is pretty vigorous as a whole. I mean, they get a lot of bonuses for being in sustained combat to their vigor, so they're able to withstand that better than most other factions, which is again why I think Norska is probably one of the hardest counters in the game to Skaven. Shots going into the back of the Clan Rats. Marauder Hunters are kind of finishing off this unit of Plague Monks. I think the Plague Monks need to charge there. I don't know. They're kind of sleeping, or just kite. They're fast enough, probably. These Marauder Hunters are chasing after Grey Seer Plague. I don't think... I mean, that is a chariot. It does have anti-large, probably some Mortis Engine effects in there as well. I can't recall exactly. But, yeah, I mean, Marauder Hunter Champions are going to take a beating in there. So the Feral Mammoth, it was basically full health when it charged into these Clan Rats. The Clan Rats were basically full health. And if you take a look, I mean, I don't know how well that's worked out for the Mammoth. They're kind of even now. I mean, it has locked up some units for a really long time. He was able to get into the Gutter Runner Slingers, but unsupported, it's still kind of an even trade. Over here, the Grey Seer Plague is in deep trouble. He's about to get attacked by 2 units of Skin Wolves, which are pretty healthy. Balance Bar is starting to go pretty heavily in Norskin's favor. I think if the Grey Seer drops, we can probably call this one for Norska. The Storm Vermin with Halberds come in here. They're going to get locked up a little bit by the Marauder Hunter Champions, which is just able to screen the Skin Wolves for a little bit, buy some time for the Grey Seer of Plague. The Skin Wolves get free. They're going to be able to, yeah, just basically pressure out the Lord, and that's the ball game, folks. So well played to Albric. Well played to X-Burner as well. You did a lot of cool things in a very tough matchup there. You did go with, wow, 8 units of Slingers. Storm Vermin were kind of a cool choice. Maybe if Storm Vermin with Halberds would have been the way to go. Did I say Halberds earlier in the cast? Maybe I was wrong. But anyway, they were just regular Storm Vermin. So I think Storm Vermin Halberds could have been the way to go. Maybe even like cut a unit of skirmish. Go with more like Skaven Slave Slingers and then Storm Vermin Halberds. Because Storm Vermin Halberds will do okay against everything on the Norscan roster. Storm Vermin are a little bit more specialized and they struggle with things like the Feral Mammoth, for example, as you saw in that matchup. Alright, so as Skaven 2, hardest battle ever. It's from Spiffy. Okay, so this time he's actually playing as Skaven. Oh wow, very unusual builds from both armies. 5 Warp Lightning Cannons against Vampire Coast. I guess he was expecting to see a very defensive army of Vampire Coast. Vampire Coast has brought Queen Bess and no front line, which is very unusual because usually if you bring Queen Bess, you're kind of committed to protecting it. And then he's got Harkin no doubt on his Terrorgeist with a bunch of Mongols. There he is up on his. Well, is it a Terrorgeist or a Zombie Dragon? It is a Terrorgeist, yeah. So there he goes. Looking very fly with his sword. Heading in to deal with these rats. We'll see how he does. 5 Warblighting cannons should screen him out very well, though. Definitely should be able to kill. Should be able to kill Bess. LOL. He just immediately surrendered because he figured the 5 Warblighting cannons would just kill his Queen Bess, and then he didn't know what to do. That's pretty funny. Man, you never know what to expect on the community cast. It's whatever people find funny or good or whatever. Alright, so even better, another game against Skaven. Skaven versus Skaven mirror matchup. Okay. So Albrecht's got 5 Plague Monks. So 4 Death Runners, and he's got a Warp Fire Thrower. Some Skaven Slaves. Very similar build from the opposing player. Frontline of Clarinets, 2 units. So Albrecht or Spiffy basically has more Plague Monks than the other team. The other team has a bit more shooting. That's he also has got the Death Runners. So I think in melee, Albrecht's got more hitting power, basically, and then it's on the onus is on these guys to kind of win with the shooting because they brought these Teethbreakers. I don't know if the Teethbreakers are a good choice in this matchup. Interestingly, both of them brought the Gracier Plague on the Mortis engine, which is kind of a cool thing to see. Maybe they figure if you go against Skaven, there's a good chance it's a Footlord. Interestingly, neither of them went with this niche kind of build, so I guess they weren't too worried about getting sniped by Giselles or whatever else. Plague Monks taking some shots from the Plague Claw Catapult, but already the Plague Claw Catapult is sort of, yeah, it's running out of time. I think it's fired 1 volley, 2 volleys, and then now the front lines are going to meet. 2 volleys, that one missed. Warblighting Cannon, shooting at stuff it shouldn't shoot at. Look at this wrap coming around here by Spiffy. I like that. I like that. Good stuff, man. You got Death Squad, Death Runners, Death Runners, Death Runners. So all of that is stocked, not revealed. Oh, has it been? Yeah, it's still hidden. It still says hidden. So the opposing player is not able to see that just yet. We have Plague Monks over here. Plague Monks, Plague Monks. Clan Rats getting into it. These Plague Monks need to be committed to fighting. They're a little bit idle right now. Shots from the Teethbreakers are gonna do damage. So far it doesn't look like they've done any, but I believe that they can and will do damage. Death Runners here can be used to charge in. They will be able to beat Skaven Slave's spears and get right into those Warblighting guns and other things. Granted, the artillery is not super important. I mean, the Plague Claw may be more important than the Warblighting Cannon. The only target really the Warblighting Cannon has is Gracier Plague, and so far the Gracier Plague hasn't really had to commit. It can be safe to the late game to a certain extent. Plague Claw, Plague Pack, Plague Monks, Centaurs taking shots here from the Warp Fire Throwers. They are very lightly armored, so Warp Fire Throwers are netting a ton of value right there. They're also being shot by the Plague Claw Catapult though, so, no, I think they were trying to shoot the Skaven Slaves? I'm not really sure. Warp Fire Throwers are wavering, but they're still shooting. I think the Plague Claw Catapult is targeting them, but it's just missing. Death Runners did get screened out by the Skaven Slave Spears over here, but they also did get into the Warblighting Cannon. Warblighting Cannon is going down. Because those units commit, there should be an opportunity to take this artillery piece out, or maybe get another real charge here. We'll see. Warp Fire Throwers still taking shots from this Plague Claw, but there's not, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be making very good contact. A lot of the shots are missing. I don't know if it's just because of the terrain, but yeah, these guys, they don't have a showdown yet. Only 45 kills, 46 kills. I mean, I thought it'd be a little higher, but it is killing a pretty high cost unit. Oh, it's going to shoot right into the Plague Monks over here. Might kill a bunch of his own units. We'll see how much precision shooting there is. But Teethbreaker's gone. Basically, the back line has completely collapsed because of the Deathbreakers. On the front line, it's pretty even. You're going to see a Scorch coming down from the Gracier Plague over here. Blade Scav are fighting to the bitter end, but they really want to. They need to be used on units. Oh, they've also been debuffed. That's a nice bit there from Spiffy. But they want to be used on units that are kind of wavering. You don't want them to just straight up grind it out with Plague Monks, so they're not being used to their optimal effect. I do think that the balance bar is indicating incorrectly that the strength has gone in favor of Spiffy. Now this Gracier Plague, is he going to just charge in and do like a 1v1 combat with the other Gracier? Yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, ding dong. I love the Rat Ogre on the back here. So he's just going to get into it. There's going to be shots over here. I think you can pretty much see that Spiffy's got this game at this point. Unless something drastic happens, I'm going to watch the rest of this on super fast forward. Victory is in our grasp. Understandably, everything's going to rally over here. So it's kind of cool. I haven't seen Spiffy play too much Skaven. It's neat to see him like showcase his skills with other factions. So yeah, nicely done. Mirror matchup, Skaven versus Skaven, and just going with a heavy Plague Monk and Death Runner contingent seemed to work out really well. Alright, so I think we got through the Spiffy Skaven replays. Now let's get on to, he's got one Bretonnia versus Ellis. Did I see this one? I'll take a quick look. Maybe yeah, I'm pretty sure I cast this one already. Yeah, I did. I meant to delete it, or maybe I put it in there again. So my apologies there. I'm going to jump right out of this one. We'll go on to the next one. Got a bunch of other replays from Tanker. Should be good. Alright. Where's Tanker at? Okay, Tanker. He's playing Orion. Wood Elves. He's got a 2v2 matchup. Skaven, Tomb Kings, Wood Elves, and Midland. Let's go. I got some day-old coffee in my thermos here. Ugh. All right, Orion. Oh, double Beastcaster. Illegal build detected, but not for quick battle. Not for casual play either. So probably dual Manticore summon, I'm guessing. So he's got 4 Feral. Oh boy, I hate this map. It's very one-sided. This team has a huge uphill advantage. On the other hand, it is a pretty short map, so it does tend to favor, to a certain extent, combat-heavy armies, which can mitigate some of that shooting advantage. So we'll see. So cannons, wow. 5 great cannons. Are they doing great? They are. They're killing a Plague Cloud Catapult. That's fantastic. We've got Council Guard, a bunch of other things, Plague Clouds, 4 Plague Cloud Catapults. So both armies going like surprisingly heavy into the artillery, considering how small of a map it is. Personally, I think mid-range shooting is the way to go for a map of this size. You shot the Great Bows. I don't know what they're shooting at. But yeah, so far it looks like the Wood Elves are being used to take the hit. Eternal Guard setting his front screen. They're doing okay against Skaven Slow Spears, Skaven Slows, and other things. We got Quick Head Taker, he's going to get in here, cut some stuff up. Shots from the Archers are going into Cetra. Deepwood Scouts. They don't have Here's your first Manticore summon coming from the Manticore Summoning Squad. Power Stone on both and Manticore summon, so they'll be able to get this up pretty quickly. Empire not doing a whole lot to support the Wood Elves here. I mean, they really need to be pushing out their front line to support them in the fight. They're a little too safe here with the artillery, so we'll see how this goes. But Tanker's doing a lot of heavy lifting here as the Wood Elves. He is disabling this Plague Claw Catapult with the Deepwood Scouts on the side. Swift Shiver Shards. Swift Shiver Shards. Yeah, I said it correctly. It's not shafts, it's shards. Deepwood Scouts over here also shooting in on them. We've got the Carrion hounding the Feral Manticore, just trying to prevent it from shutting down the Plague Claw Catapult. But it has the mass and it will go where it wants to go. And apparently where it wants to go is into the Plague Claw Catapults. Which is okay. It's kind of a disposable wrecking ball. I kind of liken it to Rat Ogres as well, to each their own. But yeah, it's getting shut down. Here comes Cetra. She's going to dive the Feral Manticore. but because of the suicidal Manticore causing the tear effect plus the shots, it should be enough to break the Plague Claw catapult, which is good. It shuts it offline for a long time, so it's kind of a nice part. Over here, Queek is going to just try and say, get off my tail. And I don't know what he's hunting. I mean, he's just kind of playing in infantry right now. He's got to go find Lords. There's a Witch Hunter over here, Lords of Morals. There's Boris, who's just escaped Queek entirely. And Orion, I don't know where Orion is. Where's Orion? There he is. Is that? No? Let's take a look at the attack view. Where's Orion? Where's Orion? Really? Is he dead? Like, I don't even see him. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he is in there. Okay. So he's just fighting with Council Guards and Halberds, which is shooting his front counter. But his leadership is certainly needed in here to stabilize these Dryads, which are already wavering. Queek is going to come over here and try probably to take on Orion, but he's going to get pounced by Feral Manticore. I think Orion needs to go over and start fighting that Tomb Scorpion. He does have the anti-large, remember, so he'll do much better shooting against Tomb Scorpion than Silver and Halberds. Great Cannon is shooting it over here on Setchers. Setchers causing some problems on this left flank, but so far all of these units, except for this one unit of Eternal Red, are holding tough. Setchers diving Spellcaster, but at this point, Spellcasters are pretty much disposable. I think they've already cast at least one of their Manticore summons, maybe both. But yeah, Feral Manticore he used to pin Setcher in spears. Okay, so here comes the other Feral Manticore summon. Probably the last Feral Manticore summon that the Spellcaster has, so now she dies, it's irrelevant. She doesn't have any other spells. Other than she might pull the balance of power slowly, but not a big deal. Rat Ogre's fighting spears, so good fights for Tanker here. A lot of units are being balled up for Tomb Kings, so they're getting surrounded mostly. Like, I mean, I don't know, I think this side is probably going in favor of Wood Elves, except for Setcha, we'll see. But yeah, even Setcha's not fighting where she should be, so it's definitely cost effective for Wood Elves. Orion's going hard here against the Rat Ogres. Looks like Queek is taking some damage here from probably just shooting. I'm not sure. I think the Deepwood Scouts are trying to snipe out Queek right now. It's a small target, so it's hard to snipe him, but it's not possible. Or maybe they're shooting the Tomb Scorpion. It does say Queek is taking fire. It does say the Tomb Scorpion is taking fire. So it could be either or both. Or maybe they're shooting Rat Ogres. Who knows? They're just shooting. Rat Ogres are dead. Queek's getting onto Orion. Orion's very low on HP, but it does have the mobility to kite Queek. That's what he's going to do. Oh man. So we got to watch that closely. 400 HP. Queek is hot on his tail. 200 HP. 240 HP. Here comes a Witch Hunter. And this is what Orion can do. He can bait people into really bad situations. So Queek is probably going to overextend here, get a little greedy, chasing Orion maybe. There are Carrion could have been used to pin him perhaps. But yeah, the skirmish archers from Wood Elves certainly very, very strong. Even on a small map like this. Cannons are still firing, I guess. It looks like a lot of the crew are just routed right off the map. Even though the artillery pieces are still there. I'm not sure from what. But they were deployed like right on the edge, right? So if they do break, they're just gone. But that's kind of a good thing in a way for Wood Elves, because that means that the Empire has started to commit some troops to fighting Amelia instead of just sitting back to protect their cannons, and the troops are definitely needed. So Spearmen and Halberds are fighting Queek. Over here, Setcha's still going hard, just smashing a whole bunch of spears, not taking a lot of damage in the process. Deepwood Scouts are out of ammo, so they're being used to dive into escaping slave spears. It's just atrocious across the board. In the back line, we've got Plague Claw Catapult that's rallied. Ushapti Greatbow is still online and firing, but I don't think they're firing into anything useful. Rat Ogres are broken. Deepwood Scouts are going to maybe charge into the Plague Claw Catapult here. These Ushapti could probably be used to just fight melee against the Deepwood Scouts and protect that Plague Claw. Sure. Plague Claw is shooting into a unit of spears that's already broken. Here comes Caster from Orion, it looks like. And drops the damage on Plague Claw Catapult. Was that Orion? Yeah, that's really long range if it was Orion. Holy. That's got to be the Firecaster. That's piercing bolts from the Blight Wizard. Eternal Guard. Man, they're scrapping. They're scrapping to the end. These guys, only 2 kills, but they've been fighting Cetra for a really long time. So I think they've done their job. Now look at how low Cetra is right now. These Swift Shiver Shards could probably just finish off Cetra if they were used to shoot him. They're going to be used to shooting at Creek. Creek is a much smaller target. I'll probably just snipe Cetra, to be honest. Yeah, that's what Tanker's going to do. I just saw the command there to switch the target. In the back, there's some handgunners that are not being used, as is also the case for some spearmen. Getting pretty late in the battle, maybe the players are getting a little bit fatigued. I don't know how many games they played before this, it happens. Boris is over here, fighting, I don't know what, just Council Guard and other thing. He's just living and being a jerk, like he usually does. If he doesn't grind you out with his attack moves, he will grind you out with his mustache. It's one or the other. The Halberds are in here. This is a fight right up on the edge of the map. Halberds do well against Ushabti, but Ushabti are screened by the Gutter Range of Poison, which means that the Halberds are going to lose that combat. This unit's probably going to win though, if the Ushabti do not fall back. The Blessed Legion are just about dead. The artillery is completely compromised now. I mean, the units have pushed up to kind of like stand where the artillery batteries are anyways. The last cannon is offline. I don't know what killed it, but it's offline. It doesn't matter. Orion's killing some Skelly Warriors. Swift Shiver Shards going into Cetra the Imperishable. The magic damage can be nice against Tomb King, because they do rely a lot on physical resist for their defense. Like the Narrow's Incantation of Protection is a 44% physical resist. And if you have those Swift Shiver Shards, you could just ignore that. Just go right through it and shoot them. So, kind of an interesting choice, but I like it. It's good against Tomb King. You don't get the same range that you get with other Rough units. I mean, and honestly, yeah, Weight Watchers could probably do pretty well too. But yeah, this Swift Shiver Shards give you an answer to the Narrow's Incantation. And they still do pretty good damage. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I think it's just the battlefield is clear at this point. It's just a question of finishing off Cetra, and should be all she wrote. Orion's still alive. Orion and Boris are just 2 absolute jerks with their their ability to just live through everything. Like, if you're expecting a nuclear apocalypse, you want these guys on your team, because they're gonna live through that apocalypse, and they will come out on the other side eating chocolate butter sandwiches as if nothing had ever happened. Shoutouts to Judge Badass. Alright, I'm going to quit this one. It's clearly over. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, yo, what's up, guys? I just see that Tankers joined me and Metal Brigade. Hi, both of you guys. Hope you're doing well. I will type in chat, sup, in case I'm muted. Alright, we got Vampire Counts matchup. See how it goes. Let's take another swig of this coffee. Mazdamundi. Not looking like Mazdamundi at all. He's got Vlad here without a nose. Double Tear Guys. Very, very, very elite build from the Vampire Counts. Going for, I mean, if you're going to go Monster Mash, you might as well go all the way. Bring the Triple Tear Guys, if that's allowed. Or Zombie. I mean, yeah, go triple. Why stop there, right? Hexray is going to get in on Chaos Warhounds. And Centaurs, this is going to be a really bad situation for the Beastmen. So early gains here for Vampires. Pretty good value too. Centaur is 700 gold. Chaos Warhounds 400 gold. That's 1100 gold off the board right away. Very nice pickup for the Vampire Counts. I like the Hex race in this matchup because Terra is always good against Beastmen. First shot from Terragheist is going to whiff on Morgar. Second shot from Terragheist is going to mostly whiff on Morgar. He's got heals, man. It's hard to just breath him down. I would use those breaths in the Minotaurs instead, to be honest. It's probably harder for the Minos to dodge. So right now they're just standing here, not sure what to do, taking a lot of shots from the Ungors. Ungor Raiders, in my opinion, might be the low-key MVP units of the Beastmen. They are so cheap, and the versatility they give you is just fantastic. And for opponents to deal with them, they really have to commit a lot of resources. And most armies aren't able to do that effectively. Like this Terra guy's just dove in the Ungor Raiders just to suppress their fire, which is fine because you got another Ungor Raiders unit here that can just fall back and shoot it. Like one Terra guys costs about as much as what, four units of Ungor Raiders. I think they did a 400 piece. These guys are like what, 600? It's probably 4 units of Ungor Raiders the Terra guys would have to kill to really pay for itself. These are a little bit too balled up though. I do think the Ungor Raiders could be peeled out here. Minotaurs are in here. But yeah, ooh, nice charge here from Tanker. The Chaos Warhounds and the Centaurs are going to get in on a rear charge on the Hexerace who are fighting spears. The one thing about these units is you've got to be really careful with their leadership. They are fantastic when they can get in a touch and go situation, when they're used for pinning other things to force fights, or for breaking units that are wavering, but they're not meant for like a grind out situation. Definitely do not like being rear charged. They need to be the ones doing the rear charging. So they are wavering, they might start crumbling. I'm going to have to watch that closely. Minotaurs just making it really difficult with the Chaos Warhounds with poison for the Terra guys to really get away. They did change the mass on the Terra guys a little while ago and some of the mechanics on its escape abilities. And look at how much problems this Terra guy is having just trying to get back up in the air. Like that one dive onto the Ungors was basically fatal. It hasn't been able to get up since. So the Terra guys really needs to, if it's going to fight anything, it probably has to be used to fight the Minotaurs, because that's where the damage is coming from. And then you can hope maybe you can tear around other things, but clearly some width issues, maybe starting to cause some problems. Blood Knight's getting in here, Goreherd, but Hexerace are now crumbling, and they're so far away from their lord, Vlad, that they're not getting any support heals. They really need to go over there and get some heals. Terrorgeist is like trying to run like hell from pretty much everything. Vlad's in here dishing it out, tanking like crazy. He's got the Karstein ring pop, 90% damage resist, which will keep him going for a while. Yeah, it's insurmountable odds, but he's not invincible. And once the Von Karstein ring drops, he's going to be in a tough spot. Granted, by that time the Chaos Spawn will probably also drop too. So, excuse me, on Tanker. I don't know. I don't think he has control over the Rackets from Vargar. It's really when a unit was low, then it just gets converted into Chaos Spawn. Yeah, Vlad has lost his spear support, and let's see, Von Karstein ring. How long does that last for? It looks like it's been lasting for a long time. So 30 seconds. So the ring has dropped, and now he's going to start taking some pretty serious damage. Even though he can self-heal and other things, and he's got good immunity and all that, but Blood Knights are man, excuse me. Blood Knights are just, they're not being used to cycle charge, which they need to be doing. Centaurs are pinning them. Warhounds are pinning them. Warhounds, they've been so clutch in this matchup. I mean, really, Tanker's just used his army as a whole to kind of win this game, and just showing why a balanced army, in most cases, can beat units. I mean, I like the Vlad pick against Beastmen. That's cool because you're probably going to see a Lord on foot. Good chance you're going to get overrun. But if you are going to go with a Lord pick, maybe cut the Terrorgeist. I feel like the Terrorgeist didn't really actually. So I said at the beginning of the cast, you know, might as well go all the way with the Monster Mash. Honestly, I think the Terrorgeist didn't really have a good target in this matchup. The only thing was really the Minotaurs, and if they dove on the Minotaurs, they were going to get surrounded and just wrecked. So probably they would have been better off with just Vargos. Honestly, Vargos can take a hit. Against Beastmen, you want to really, I think the way to go if your Vampire counts is probably to try and outlast them. If you can sustain and just live through that initial rush, then your Fear and Terror can be a factor in the late game. Against Beastmen, you're probably not going to win the early game, so you just want to stay alive, and then late game is where you're gonna try and shine. So I think this one's done. We're gonna see Vlad just get probably punked here, and then we'll go on to the next game. There it goes. It's official. That's a win for Tanker against Mazdamundi. All right, we got a Dwarven Box, everyone's favorite type of game. Beastman versus Spaghetti. Triple Slayer. I like it. Longbeards, I get it. Grumbly Guard. It's a nuisance. The only thing is, I don't think these Thunderers are going to have so great targets to shoot at, and the Slayers are way too balled up. I think. We'll see. This is why you bring a little bit of. This reminds me of another game I think Tanker did on probably the same map against the Dwarf player. I'm getting flashbacks here. Let's see. Shots from the Ungors. This is why I think Ungors are like MVP. The Ungor Raiders are like MVP units on Beastman. Look at these issues it's causing to the dwarves. First of all, the dwarves couldn't see them. Secondly, if you turtle, you're gonna just lose your stuff. Thirdly, if you push out, then that creates opportunities for Beastman to slip past you and kind of get in through those gaps. Taker is falling back, but honestly, I probably wouldn't. I would just. He's getting shot by the Thunderers. Oh, he's kiting as much as he can, but it's pretty hard to kite gunshots. I don't know. He's gonna reposition, but while this unit is trying to shoot at this other one, this unit's just like lacing his cannon. He's a 5 chevron cannon, so he's put some money into that cannon too. Thunderers are shooting at this unit of Ungor Raiders. They're taking shots too. I don't know how like a 2v1 would work out. Like if 2 Ungor Raiders shot into 1 unit of Thunderers, Ungors might come out on top. I'm not sure. Thunderers do have shields though. These guys are pretty much cream of the crop in terms of missile infantry. You can make a case for Wood Elves having better missile infantry, or actually I think the Rangers are underused and underrated for the dwarves. I think that the dwarves can do a pretty good job with even the Rangers and like the Buckins Rangers and the Forest Raiders. But anyway, Thunderers are a pretty common choice for a lot of dwarf players. This unit's getting ground out. So this is the 2v1 scenario I'm talking about here. Well, actually, this is a 3v1 really. You got 3 units of Ungor Raiders just shooting in. Well, this unit's taking the shots. These 2 are dishing it. But so you see how Tanker's kind of positioned them on the flank of the Thunderers? So that's bypassing the shields of the Thunderers, which is he's done the same thing here. You see how he's shooting into the flank of the Thunderers? So now the Thunderers have got to they got to reposition if they want to be able to use those shields. They're going to do that. We'll see if Tanker repositions again after that. Oh no, they're being used to shoot at this unit of Ungors. So 2 units of Thunder is being used to shoot at 1 unit of Ungors, I think. Here come the Harpies. They're going to muck up this cannon, which is already wavering. Slayers are going to countercharge the Harpies. I think that's going to go in favor of the Slayers. The Harpies aren't going to be there for long. I probably wouldn't have even dove them, to be honest. I don't think the cannon's really doing that much work at this point. I was probably going to break from the Ungors anyways. I'd just save the Harpies for later. You can use them to chase off routing units. I don't think they netted enough value there. The Ungor Raiders are about to break this unit of Thunderers. And that's, at some point it's going to turn into a grind against the Longbeards though. That's the issue with the Dwarves, right? Like, they can sort of just stand there, do nothing, and sometimes they still win the game just because they have so much HP and tankiness and right? HP and it's really that much. Balance bar, like, it's pretty even considering the Dwarves have pretty much done nothing other than get shot and shoot Thunderers. But we'll see. Thunderers have been marked up by Goreherd here. But the front line, I think, is going to go in favor of the Dwarves, unless there's a lot of rear charges that can be used to kind of change things around. Longbeard's going to get charged by Centaurs with great weapons. I mean, I think Razorgores just do more cost-effective work against Dwarves. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but it seems like they have a bit more mass. They're a bit more disposable. But I don't know. There's more units here. Unit models, 45 unit models. I'm not sold on. I haven't decided. if it's better to go with Centaurs or with the Razorgore. I think Razorgore is MVP, but maybe I'll run something. Longbeards are going to be able to brace against that charge though, so unless they can slip the gap, not going to be super effective. But even braced, the Centaurs do get a charge bonus. But yeah, only 29 melee attack. These guys just got 38 melee defense. I mean, they just charged into Longbeard's great weapons, and it looks like even with that charge bonus, they're probably losing that combat. Razorgore are rampaging. They broke the Longbeards over here. Centaurs, they're struggling, but here comes the summon, and I think if one of these units of Longbeards breaks, that's going to open up all kinds of opportunities for rear charges. But as long as they're able to maintain this box, it's going to be tricky. There's going to be a lot of front and side charges going on there. Here we go. Chaos Spawn are going to change things. Is this a Thorgrim? No, it's just a regular Dwarf Lord. But the Dwarf Lord is out of position right now. If the Dwarf Lord is in here with his troops, he's going to stabilize their leadership. He could probably drop a stand your ground buff. No, he didn't even have that, so yeah, he doesn't have any buffs. But his leadership is still a good deal. He could be used to buckle the leadership of these guys. He could be used to fight longer, perhaps. Definitely doesn't want to be fighting anymore, so that's a win on Tanker's part. Rear charge from the Chaos Spawn is going to break this cannon if they can get in there. Not like the cannon. But yeah, they're going to do work on the Longbeards. I think that's going to be it. This summon was game changing. Just getting into the rear there. I'm going to fast forward. I don't think there's any coming back for the Dwarfs at this point. We'll see if the summon drops, maybe, but no, I think at this point it's just a. It should be a mop-up. Grumbling Guard's in here, grumbling. Let's see, charges. Shots. Mongol Raiders still have a bit of ammo. Dwarf Lord's gone. Morgor just finished him off. And that's it. Yeah, the skirmishy Skaven build tanker that Spiffy played against, I think it had some teeth. I think it needed some refinement. It could, I mean, I don't know. I think you do have to go skirmishy against Norska if you're going to do it, though. Then the issue is you got to deal with all those warhounds and other things. And Spiffy happened to bring a lot of them, so he was probably expecting a skirmishy build from Skaven. So you gotta think about what are the safe points for the skirmishers to be able to fall back to. I don't know if you want to couple them with some Eshin Triads or something like that. That's what I'm thinking now in that matchup if you're Skaven against Norska. Because the nice thing about the Eshins is they have the stock mechanic, as do the skirmishers. So you can have like almost a self-contained stock unit of like some skirmishers and Eshin Triads. You spit some stuff with the skirmishers, then Norska sends the warhounds and the skin wolves after you, and then you send the Eshin Triads after them, and just to muck them up. They got pretty good speed, and it's like a surprise. And I don't know if they'll win, but maybe with a missile support, or maybe with the unit models. Even if you send the gutter runners into melee, with the Eshin Triads able to do the damage, I don't know. They might do okay in that. I'd have to test that. Like slingers plus Triads versus skin wolves plus warhounds. I think Skaven could probably take that fight. I think they could. I'd like to see that. All right, we got Dark Elves versus Greenskins. Goblin Big Boss. I mean, they're so good. I mean, they're not going to win against other heroes, but 2v1 situations, they got really good speed if you put them on a horse. They're really cost effective. With Skarsnik's a boss. Like, he's pretty cost effective. He's going to get you lots of walk procs. He's tanky. 5k, 55 melee defense. 5k HP, 55 melee defense. You know, decent mobility. 34 is not the best, actually. But Yeah, hibbity hoppity. Goblin Rock Lobber. Honestly, in tank could bring these a lot more. I mean, I do think they catch people off guard. Against Dark Elves, not too bad. They can do some damage against high tier stuff. Damage by artillery might come into effect against the Dark Riders. I mean, there's probably better stuff for the artillery to be shooting at than Dark Riders, I'll be honest. But stuff is only starting to move into rage here. I do expect Tanker's probably going to switch onto the Witch Elves. Yeah, he's already done that. So, Sisters of Singing Dooms are going to start taking some rocks to the face. I think these units a likely candidate to also receive some stuff. Goblin Wolf Chariot's being used in a disposable fashion to disrupt the advance of the Dark Elves so that Tanker doesn't have to deal with everything all at the same time. Ditto with this unit over here. Helabroni are probably going to brace for this if the opponent's paying attention. No, he's not. They're going to take the charge from the Goblin Wolf Chariot, and the Wolf Chariot's going to peel right through. Witch Elves not being used to respond to that either. And the Dark Riders, I mean, the Dark Riders could be used on the Chariots over here. I mean, that's what the Dark Riders are for. You pin stuff with the Dark Riders, right? You pin the Chariots, then the Witch Elves can tag them, then the Helabroni kill them. That's how you got to use Dark Riders. But over here, I don't know what they're doing, but nothing useful. So it looks like he's lost already one unit. The other unit's on the edge of the map here, almost broken. This unit here is wavering, coming up against the Boar Boys, and looks like they took a charge. Spears did arrive, but not in time. So yeah, I mean, I would lead with the Spears and then pin with the Dark Riders. I mean, I'll be honest here, Dark Elves tend to win with their infantry a lot. I mean, at least with the build that this guy's brought. And so, what you want to do is you want to force the Greenskins to fight your infantry, ideally not on the wall. Let's check out these goblins. These are gold chevron goblins with 45 melee attack. Probably cost Tanker like basically nothing, and they got 25 weapon strength. Like that's legit, man. Bleak swords are only at 28 weapon strength, so these goblins are hitting almost as hard as the Bleak swords. They have almost the same armor. And with the Wog, they got 45 melee attack. Like, they are doing work right now. That is crazy. Do not underestimate the Velvet's Human. That Goblin Fanatics, 27 weapon strength. They're going to do very well against the Helabroni. This flank is now completely secure for Tanker. He's got this Goblin Rock Lobber shooting into Corsairs, Executioners, probably Executioners. This other flank has now been secured. This the Spear and the Dark Riders were not enough to deal with that. So now all Tanker has to do is kind of shore up the middle, and he'll probably get a full surround because this flank is going to wrap around and kill that. This flank's going to wrap around and kill this, and it should be okay for Tanker, I would expect. Harganeth Executioners are kind of in no man's land. I think. What are they going to attack here? Are they going to attack the Skulkers with AP? Are they going to attack the Goblin Big Boss, who could just kite them? Are they going to attack the Fanatics, which are going to poison them? I mean, they can do okay against the Fanatics, I suppose. But these are unbreakable. They would fight to the death, and then they're going to get shot while they're fighting to the death. Or Boy Boys over here. They can be cycle charging. So, I mean, Dark Elf has no more mobility. Really, the Witch Elves are here fighting Biggins, which have a lot of armor, and they're going to counter the Sisters. Well, a lot of armor. They have armor for orcs. Yeah, I'm completely wrong. Sorry, they only have 35 armor? I think usually they're sitting around 50 armor. Oh yeah, okay, it's because of the Spiteful Puncher ratio, which cut it down to 35. So whenever a Dark Elf Sorceress casts, like we did here, then it cuts the armor, so these guys go down to 35. So the Sisters seem to be doing a little extra damage there, but yeah, these Goblin Rock Lobbers on the flanks causing a lot of issues for the Dark Elves because the Dark Elves lost the flanks just so hard. Greenskins were expecting a push in the middle, and putting these on the sides just made it difficult for the Dark Elves because they had to go kind of wide there. So yeah, nicely done to Tanker, showing that there is some value for Greenskin artillery if used correctly. I think for Aiden, man, if I can give you a suggestion, if you're going to invest so much into your infantry, like he had 2 Executioners, 2 Witch Elves, 3 units of Corsairs and all this, like you got to use your Dark Riders, I think more conservatively, maybe in the back line. yes, you want to use them to shut down artillery, but early on you saw like those chariots, these Goblin Wolf fighter chariots, just they cause so many issues. So, yep. Got one last replay here, maybe two. Uh, so, what else? Uh, Beastmen, Lizardmen, and Avalorn. Tanker is playing the. What else? Oh, oldest of Gregs. This guy's he's a good player. He's with the GRG clan. At least he used to be. I like this map. It's pretty decent for 2v2. It's got like a little bit of an incentive to advance. You can get the hill, but there's also it's a balanced map. You got woods on the side, so armies that want to rush can rush. It's got a little bit of everything. I really like this map. Morga the Shadowgrave. Really shining. Proxies. There's what is this? Feral, Proxy, Mastamundi, Skirmishers. Oh, pretty much everything you expect from Lizardmen. Pretty balanced build. Bratian Wild. High Elves pushing midline with a mix of Spears and White Lions. Sisters of Avalorn are clumping up and not really shooting anything of value just yet. We'll see. They're going to go after the Cygor over there. Cygor has a really big HP pool, but 3 units of Sisters can do work here. Valerio's been matted. Is that from the ROR Cygor, or is that from... No, it's just a regular Cygor, so it must have been from Mundi, who has that net on the top. Valerio taking a lot of damage. She's already down to almost below half HP. Celadon shooting in on her. Or Raider shooting in on her. But she can fall back and heal. This is why I said you gotta be careful about clumping your sisters. Look at this. Brace Scream coming into the sisters. And the other one is mocked up here. Shots from Vhagar going into Mazdamundi. That's a pretty nice value for Tanker. These are arguably also a little bit fucked up, but Tanker's going to spread them here a little bit preemptively. Dryads being used to screen off the skirmishers, as are the spearmen. Mundi taking a lot of damage from these blade guys. These are Starfire shafts, so they have AP. Very nice stuff. They're chipping it down, force it to burn some advantages to get the kills in. Bratian the Wild going to get tagged by Laeral. I like that, man. You got to use Laeral aggressively in melee. In the right places, and she's being used to pin the chariot, so that's good stuff. Another Brace Scream's going to go into these Sisters of Avalorn. Just pretty good damage on that. So they're still okay. Golden Hounds being used to rip across this line of ski cohorts, tagging 3 units, doing absolutely fantastic damage. There's a Vortex spell, but it looks like it's sat on top of them the whole time. 3 units breaking off of that one cast. That is fantastic value for the Wood Elves. That's 900 gold worth of value. It's just netted, and more importantly, it's exposed the Kroxigors here. So the Kroxigors could take a ton of damage from these Blade Guard if they so chose. They could break this unit off very easily. It looks like they're being used to shoot into the mana with Blade weapons instead, or maybe it's a Snipe Morgar. I'm not sure about that, but I'll probably just finish this Kroxigors first of all, and then free up 3 units of Spears and 1 unit of White Lions. These units are prime candidates for a Vortex spell right now. On this far flank, Mundi's down to already like 25% HP. Mundi's got to fall back here. He's taking a lot of damage. Now he's also fighting in Spears. He's got Phoenix Guard here, so I don't know what the Lizardman player is doing, but maybe they're just like distracted, but this is not what they need to be doing with Mundi. Over here, the Kroxigors are holding tough against the White Lions with Morgar, but yeah. This flank is starting to go back, so both flanks are starting to turn in favor of the Wood Elves. And the High Elves have been able to kind of just hold the line in front. Valerio's still above half HP. These Minotaurs are getting broken down. Battlestar are still fairly even. 3 units of Skinks being completely idle. We need to brace these monsters. This is the unit that got tagged by the Vortex spell earlier and rallied. Yeah, Mundi is on his deathbed at this point. He still has not been able to peel away from the Spears. So if he goes, that should shift the balance by pretty heavily, I would expect. He's still on Solar Engine being used to fight in here in melee. Monday is going to fall back. The skirmishers with poison might be able to sort of prevent anything from chasing him off the field. We'll see. But shots going in. He could go down here. What's his HP at? It's 347. We'll see. Razor herd diving into spears and dryads. That's not where they want to be. Proxigors fighting against Orion. Yeah, this is a really bad fight for the Beastmen. But they need the skinks to be active. Here they're finally being pulled back into the combat. The Cygor is pretty healthy. I'm not sure what he's shooting at. Looks like shots are now being directed into Morgur. Interesting. Phoenix Guard looks like they're taking some of that damage. I would probably just pull the Phoenix Guard back and isolate Morgur. If you're going to try and shoot him, why have the Phoenix Guard taking shots? Yeah, there we go. You send them up to the Crocs Wars. Now you got, but the Razor Guard are able to screen out the Blade Guard. Morgur certainly didn't like getting shot here, so he sent some other stuff to kind of at least interrupt these Blade Guard a little bit. But now they're being stretched a little thin. They're getting a little greedy going into this back line. You do have a nice shooting pocket here with Morgur at the center of it. The Sisters of Avalorn are able to rally. You just got to spread these out a little bit, man. Just spread them out. Because one unit Pterodon Rider is mucking up 3 units of Sisters. That can't happen. Monday rallied though. Remember those shots earlier? He was down to 200 HP. He did rally. I mean, does he have Apotheosis? I mean, he does. He could just heal himself and continue to fight. He's fast enough to fight that stuff. Ustolian's going to get tagged by spears. No, he's going to break. He's going to take some more damage in the back. I don't know. Over here, Pterodon Riders getting killed by, I don't know, shots from the Day Guard. Sisters will do okay. Alariel plus a Manticore summon have been able to isolate Morgur. Now I think it's all gravy for the Wood Elf High Elf combo. So Morgur's going to die. Once Morgur dies, that's usually a win condition against Beastmen. You kill their leadership, they're pretty much everything just terror routes most of the time. Granted, Wood Elves don't really have many terror causing units, but yeah. Yeah, I get maybe a Manticore summon here or there. Yeah, the double Manticore summon. Alright. So that was a cool one. I think Beastmen did okay there. I think Lizardman player could have done a bit more to help out their ally. And that's it. I've got one last replay. I'm going to showcase this one. It was just an autosave. We played 3 games, only because it has Whispering Eye, which is Beaver. I don't know if you guys remember him. He used to be active in the channel maybe a year ago before he started med school. And he came back because of the coronavirus situation. He had a little bit of time on his hands. So I just want to showcase a game where he got into it. So I played a few games with Six Path, Sadao, and Beaver, who's going by the name of Whispering Eye, playing Greenskins. So first couple of games were a little bit, I think maybe he was a little bit rusty. He's definitely shaking off the rust in these games, but we had a lot of fun playing them anyways, that's for sure. Dark Riders in the back. I put some shades here. I want a little bit of backline pressure. Six Path has got a repeater bolt thrower. He's got some shades. 3 units of Dark Riders of his own, so pretty good mobility. A little bit of kitey power, a little bit of shooting. He's left the Dread Spears at home, which is kind of an interesting choice. So he does have some ability to fight melee. Dread Spears are usually a staple of Dark Elf rosters, and he hasn't brought any, which is kind of interesting. So Dark Rider is going to be used to interrupt the zombie pirate gunnery mob. For myself, I did bring a bolt thrower of my own to maybe make the Vampire Coast think about moving a little bit. Bloated Corpse, I did see that early on. There's no woods that were kind of covering it. I'm going to shoot into it with the bolt thrower. Try and get that offline early on. I do have Malkith. I brought the Big Daddy because I felt like I needed a legendary in order to compete against Sadao and Six Path. So I did drop a Chill Wind across the front line. I'm trying to stall this front line engagement as much as I can. The Chill Wind is certainly helpful for that. I'm going to send Malkith into the Bloated Corpse because a lot of his damage is AoE damage from the explosion. It's not as great on individual enemies. Then I saw it was so low. I was like, yeah, maybe not. Over here, I've got the Shades trading into the Dark Riders Repeater Crossbows. Actually, I do have 2 units of Shades, so they are going to be able to win that matchup before it force them to fall back. This unit of Dark Riders breaks a unit of Dark Riders over here. I mean, Shades are okay combatants against light skirmishers type of cav. They're going to get screened by the Dark Riders. Probably take a messy charge here. This unit of Dark Riders is going to get rear charged by the other unit of Dark Riders. So a mistake here. I should have kept this unit of Dark Riders kind of on guard mode and fighting in these Shades. But actually, this unit of Shades was able to win. Overall, this backline engagement's gone kind of well for me. I think the Shades have held their own against the Dark Riders with the support of the light cavalry. And yeah, I think 3 units of Dark Riders. Looks like 2 of them are compromised. This unit's close to breaking off the map. They do rally just in time. I don't know. It's a bit of a wash. Frontline engagement though. This is where the action is. We've got the Normal Hunter in here. We've got Salash and Deerfin. He's taking a lot of shots from the Bullthrower right now. We've got Calvin D-Boss. D-Buff for Father Dev. Malkith and Master. They've been used to charge in on Salash when they can. They do have high enough melee attack that the Salary Buff shouldn't affect them too much. 3v1 on Salasha. Look at her health just going down here. Malkith plus the 2 Masters. Just doing a lot of damage to her. She's going to scuttle away through her Cyrene screen. I am going to try and force path a little bit here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Probably I'll turn around and just go fight the Normal Hunter. Again, 3v1 scenario is pretty okay for me. And in a 3v1, even against an entire unit of infantry, that they could probably fight it and win it. Shades here fighting at the Dark Riders Repeater Crossbows. The Dark Riders are also shooting in at the Shades. Dark Riders a little bit idle here. Also, the Repeater Bolt Thrower, it's online and shooting, but the Hydra is being used defensively. Probably not the best use of the Hydra. The Hydra needs to be up here supporting Salashtra in that frontline engagement. These Shades, I think they're shooting at Dread Spears right now over here. It's fighting with Bleak Swords. I don't know. Maybe the better things that they can be shooting at. Maybe they're shooting Shades. I don't know. Shades over here are going to shoot in. Salashtra is really, really low. He's below. That's just the steady damage for the Bullthrower chipping her down. She doesn't have support heals. I do think if you're going to mix Salashtra out with Big Crab, instead of Morgul Haunter, bring in a Vampire Fleet Captain with heals and just pump some heals into it. He'll do much of the same thing. He doesn't give you access to Salashtra. Kid's not really sure what to be doing here. He's going to go in on, is that Roseg? Yeah. Do some really good damage on Roseg. That is a nice, like all the places for Malkith to be, it's one of the best. On the other hand, he's pretty deep in the midline here. He's going to take some shots from the Goblin Archers. I don't know what this unit's shooting at yet. We'll see, but it's just kind of a big mess in here. But a lot of this is crumbling. Sirens are ethereal, so they do suffer kind of from the lower leadership issue. If their lore drops, which is the case, because Salasha just dropped, they're going to crumble away. And the Vampire's front line is pretty much gone at this point. But Malkith is healthy. The Hydra is still healthy. The Dread Spears are in a losing engagement over here. There are still 2 units of Dark Riders over here, which can rally and probably start doing some work. I do have a unit of Shades that's also rallied. Can maybe start shooting the Hydra once things get into position. But right now, I think a lot of the action is over here, just trying to deal with Malkith, chase him off. Wherever Malkith goes, I'm going to be shadowing him with the Master and the 2 Masters and Malkith of my own. The 1 Master has taken a little bit of damage from scrapping. I mean, he did do a lot of work on Salastra, and it looks like he's been taking some shots from the Bull Thrower here. So, yeah, he paid the cost of his aggressive natures, but he did his job. Over here, shots going into the Goblin Big Boss. We've got Bleak Swords diving. Shades are going to kite. Malkith is looking for a place to land, but honestly not having a lot of opportunities. He's going to try and drop a breath on the other Malkith, but I will be able to dodge that for the most part. Shades are going to shoot into the Bleak Swords. Not the best use of their ammo. Balance bar is still pretty even. Six Path still has tools. He's going to regroup here with the Dark Riders. Hydra's still full HP. So at some point, we're going to have to kill the Hydra. We're going to put shots into Malkith here. He's going to drop a Chill Wind. I think that Beaver was able to dodge that. Orc Biggins. I thought leadership issues for the Greenskins, though. I think Wurzag must have died. Maybe no, Roseg's still alive. I don't know why they're fleeing. Maybe just the bolt thrower is making him flee. Goblin Big Boss in here with the spears. Weak swords, other things. But yeah, Master and Malkith were able to just basically secure this flank. Jet Spear is pushing in on the Bolt Thrower. Bolt Thrower is pretty much out of ammo now, so it's almost irrelevant, but just to say that they were shut offline. Now it's really up to the Hydra to do a lot of work here. And shots going into Malkith. He's going to rip a Power of Darkness. I think he cast it on himself, which does damage to himself. So you can use just the 6-path. I know you're just starting to experiment with Malkith a little bit. You can cast Power of Darkness on your Hydra, for example. Your Hydra will heal up the HP, and you'll still get the Winds of Magic. So I would not recommend casting Power of Darkness on your Lord. I mean, that only as a last resort. I think Malkith is going to try and go in here, maybe a little bit desperate. He thinks about it, but he decides not to. I would have had a full surround on him. He would have taken a charge from probably 3 characters there. He'll go after the Shades instead. So again, I'm just going to shadow him. Wherever he lands, I'm going to send stuff over. These guys are pretty quick. They've got Force Seeker on them, and 92 speed. When Force Seeker gets popped, they're going to probably go up to 100, 114 speed. Do not sleep on these guys. 114 speed is enough to prevent Malkith from taking off. And he's going to take a lot of damage here, and that's going to seal the deal. I don't know what happened to the Hydra. It's still good, but with Malkith having that much damage, yeah, it's over. So that was a fun game. Sadao, you kicked our ass a couple times before this with 6-path, so again, I don't have those replays. I'm sorry, I only had the autosave file, but to anyone who watched the cast, hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you around. Bye.